guys, Michelle here again, back with another story time. This one is about the time my ex-best friend tried to get me fired and then thrown out of school. So, let's go back. Freshman year of university. So like your freshman year of like college, like everyone wants to be like best friends, like we're all tight, like you just moved into the dorms, everyone's like so tight with everyone, everyone's like, oh my god, we're all adults, we're all having free time, it's so great, like no one can tell us what to do, whatever. So me and my roommate made best friends with the girls across the hall. They were also freshmen. My roommate she was new because she was a transfer student, but she was actually a junior. But we all got along like really, really well. Like, I don't know why, but like really well. And then we made friends with like a bunch of other people in like the dorms next to us and on the floor above us. But like we were like the core. Like we were all tight. So I'll give them all fake names. We'll say my roommate's name was Becky. And then the girls across the hall were Angie and Sally. Okay. So Angie and Sally were best friends. They had gone to high school together and had been best friends for the past like 3 years, and then they decided to go to college together and move in together and be roommates. And you know that storyline that just it doesn't work out, guys. It never does. But nevertheless, we tried it. So Sally and Angie are over there being besties, and then me and Becky are just getting to know each other, but we got along really well. We have a lot in common. Beginning of third semester. I feel like it's the beginning of third semester. That's when everything went to shit. Okay. So this was when ridiculousness, I think, and all the pranking shows, like Prank versus Prank and stuff, like just started coming out, and they were all on MTV, and we would all like sit around and watch it on TV and stuff. So we were trying to getting into like doing small little pranks on each other, and so we had ordered pizza to like watch TV together in like the dorm room, in Angie and Sally's dorm room, and I think Sally had paid for it, and then she told me before I left, because I had come back from work. I had already started working at this point, and I was tired. I was not really thinking. She's like, oh, hey, we're collecting money. Can you put some money in? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And I gave her like $5. And then I went to my room to like change or whatever. I was ready to like chill out. And I think I already like got into bed and everything all within 10 minutes. And then Angie comes and she's like, oh, hey. She's like, you wouldn't believe it, but Sally was just messing with you. Like, no one put in money for the pizza. Like, she got it for like free or something. Like, you didn't have to pay her. And I was like, oh, haha, it's so funny. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get her back. And so I get up in like an exhausted state, and like I hear that Sally's in the shower. So I go to the bathroom, and while she's in the shower, I like turn the lights off, and like I'm hiding like outside the door, and I'm like giggling. I'm like, huh. And like Angie came with me, and she's giggling too, and like we're hearing Sally go, oh my god, what happened? What happened? Like she's freaking out, and we had it off for maybe like 20 seconds, like at post, and we just flipped it back on and laughed and ran away or whatever. And so then Sally gets out of the bathroom maybe 10 minutes later, and she comes and she's pissed. Like, she is cussing us out. She's like, who the fuck turned off the lights? Like, that wasn't funny. Like, I fucking hate all of you. You fucking bitches. Get away from me. Like, she's going off on us. And I'm just like, oh crap. Like, obviously, I didn't have malicious intent when I did it. Like, I thought we were just messing around, and like, who doesn't flip the lights on people when they're in the shower? Like, I thought that was normal. Okay. So like she gets so mad, and like she runs out of the dorm, and like she's out just screaming at this point, and like she leaves, and I'm like, oh crap. So I'm like, I go in her room, and like we're just all just waiting for her to come back so I can like apologize. And she doesn't come back. Like she was gone for like at least an hour, really. And at this time I'm exhausted because of course I have to wake up again in the morning and go to work again. So I'm like, I'm not gonna wait, I'll just talk to her tomorrow. I'm like, Angie, just tell Sally how sorry I am or whatever. And so I go to bed, and I wake up and I go to work in the morning because I leave at like 7 a.m. Like I wasn't gonna see her before class or anything. So I leave and I come back and stuff, and I'm like, asking my roommate Becky, I'm like, what's up? And like, Becky's mad because Sally yelled at her and she didn't even do anything. She was just chilling in her room, like innocent. So she was upset about that. And she's like, no, she needs to apologize to me or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I still need to apologize to Sally for like flicking the lights. I didn't know she'd be so upset about it. And so I'm like, Angie, and Sally, and a bunch of our other friends all had the same class together at like 3 p.m. So I was like, oh, I'll see her by then, because we usually all either walk together or we sit together. So me and Angie, we go to class and stuff, and I see Sally, and she's not sitting where we usually sit. Like, she sat down there, and I'm like, oh, God, that's weird. She must be really mad. And so, like, after class, like, I'm trying to wait so I can talk to her about it, and, like, she's just not having it. Like, she's walking past me, and I'm like, Sally. She's like, no, she's not talking to me. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So me and Angie are walking away, and, like, all of a sudden, Angie's, like, trying to fill me in on what happened in the morning. She's like, Sally told everyone that you were bullying her and no one's talking to either of us. She's saying that I was in on it and that we're trying to destroy her life and that we traumatized her and now everyone thinks that we're evil. And I'm just like what? Like, that's just so dramatic. Like, I'm like, okay, whatever. So we just get back to my room and like I start in on my homework because Sally, I guess, is off doing whatever she's doing. I guess spreading gossip for some reason, even though I'm like, I feel like we're a bit old for it, but she's spreading gossip. She comes into my room, like Angie's chilling on Becky's bed, like she's just sitting there. Becky's not in the room. Becky, I think, was at class. And Sally comes in and she's like screaming and she's crying, and I'm just like, oh, hey. And then she just goes off on us. Like, she's not even screaming at me. That's the thing. She was yelling at Angie. She's like, you're supposed to be my best friend. Like, how could you do this to me? You know how traumatizing that was. And Angie's just sitting there and she's just bawling. Like, she like doesn't know what to do. And I'm just sitting there like so awkward because I was like, everyone knows I'm the one who flicked the lights, right? Like, what's happening? So after Sally's done screaming because she wouldn't let me get a word in, I'm like, Sally, look, I'm really sorry that I flicked the lights on you yesterday. I didn't know that you had some kind of traumatizing thing going on with the darkness. I really didn't know. I mean, it was just a joke, and you don't need to be mad at Angie. She didn't know that I was going to do that, and she sure as heck wasn't in on it. And she's like, oh, I don't care. She's like, it's whatever. You're not really sorry. And I'm just like, all I did was flick the lights on you. And if I knew I was going to upset, of course I'm sorry. We're supposed to be best friends. Like, why wouldn't I be sorry? Like, so she didn't really accept my apology. I'm like, okay, well, please stop screaming and just leave my room then if you don't want to accept my apology. Like, damn, like, you're doing a bit much for all of us. So she leaves. And she isn't going to let it die down. She actually ended up telling the entire floor of the dorm that I was a bitch, that I ruined her life, and oh God, it was a bit much. She had apparently called and reported me to her counselor, the person who she talked to on campus, for some traumatic stuff that I guess had happened to her in her life, and I'm like, okay, and then she told my roommate that she had told the counselor what I did and that she was going to try and get me and Angie kicked out of school and kicked out of the dorms. And this is all within one day, guys. Like, this is all just within one day. And I'm just like, oh, this is a bit much. And then, like, at this time, I was working at the school as, like, kind of like a student assistant. And so I worked for the dorms. And so she went and she told my boss and made like a complaint against me that Michelle is evil. You don't know what she did. She ruined my life. I need her to get out of there or whatever. And I'm just like, so my boss calls me and Angie in, and he's just like, look, I know you're not that way, obviously, but she really wants me to talk to you, and she's really upset. And it's like, did you apologize? I'm like 5 times. And like, even he could tell this was weird because literally yesterday, me and this girl were inseparable. Like, we eat every meal together. We hang out together. We go shopping together. We have all the same classes. Like, and then overnight, she hates me. Like, she hates everything about me. And she wants me fired. She wants me kicked out of school. She never wants to see any of us again. And I mean, the person I felt the worst for was, like, Angie. Because while she could only, like, Sally can only scream at me when she sees me. And she can yell through the halls and, like, scream my name in the hallway. Oh, Michelle's a bitch, you know? But it's whatever. But, like, Angie had to live with her. Like, they had to share a room. like this size. And it's just so awkward. Like Angie got to the point where she was sleeping on our floor in our room because she was so horrified at how Sally would treat her. She wouldn't talk to her. She would invite her family over, and they would say mean shit to her. She deleted all of her photos, like all the photos they'd taken since like high school, off of her Facebook. She she had a collage of their pictures together, and she cut her face out of all the photos, scratched the eyes out of them, and threw them in the garbage for her to see. Like, it was insane. Like, she went off, and this was like for weeks, really for the entire last quarter. Like, it was horrible. And like Angie was like having panic attacks. Like, she was going home literally every single weekend. She was sleeping in our room. Me and Becky felt so bad that we even pushed our beds together so we could use it like as just one giant mattress, so she wouldn't have to sleep on the floor anymore, because the floor was really hard. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. And yeah, so I mean, she didn't succeed in getting any of us kicked out. Obviously, it was just awkward. And they didn't even want to move her room because it was the last quarter, and a quarter is only 10 weeks long, so that'd be ridiculous to try to ever have someone move to another dorm just because you're having an issue for some reason. Like, grow up. So yeah, the friendship died at that point, and so did a bunch of other ones, because she spread rumors that I was the big black bully who was ruining her life, and everyone, for some crazy reason beyond my understanding, believed her. Like, she was like this mousy little girl with like glasses, and like she was so nerdy, and everyone thought she was so likable that I guess they just believed her, even though I had never done anything malicious to her ever, or to anyone else on campus. Like, I'm like really quiet, like I keep to myself, and all of a sudden Michelle was this big mean girl who's ruining her life, and I don't know, that was a mess. Yeah, it was. So freshman year ended. Sophomore year, me and Angie requested to be roommates because Becky was actually transferring out of school again. It wasn't a good fit for her. But me and Angie decided to be roommates the next year, and that we were going to move dorms. This is after we both had, I guess, contemplated just dropping out of school altogether, because the maliciousness from not just Sally, but everyone else in the dorms was intense. Like, people were so mean. Like, they would walk by and just say the most horrible things to us. Like, I'd never been bullied like that before, and to think that it was happening in college when we're all supposed to be adults was ridiculous. We went from having like 20 different friends to having like 4. Like, that was it. So we even tried to like transfer out of school, and that didn't work because you can't really transfer till your junior year. You need to have like 90 credits or so. So yeah, we just moved dorms. And after that, we kind of just kept to ourselves. Like, it was just the two of us. We didn't really hang out with other people anymore. We're kind of like done with the whole girlfriend thing. So that's my story time about the time that my crazy ex-best friend tried to ruin my life, essentially. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.